Hey, it's Enrico Pallazzo!
Utah, give me 2.
Pallazzo!
Oh!
Utah, give me 2.
2 L's, 2 Z's. Welcome aboard. It is I, Michael Govier, for the Pallazzo podcast, and we are ready to rock here. I am stoked, I'm pumped, I'm fired up, I'm all the things I should be and more, because it is so deep at the almost tipping point of the fantasy baseball draft season. We got a huge weekend coming up. We just had a big weekend, because this is being recorded live at 10:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Tuesday night. And that means we had one big weekend. Now we got another one coming up. And then it's the real opening day, quotes. We already had the pretend opening day, which was fun. You know, I'm glad baseball was there. It just feels weird that I cannot set players on my fantasy teams to the IL, but I'm accruing stats. I get a win from Yamamoto. That's great. I love that. That's wonderful. Hey, what's up, Anthony? My man. Anthony, my savior. Anthony saved the day. He's in the live chat, just like you can be. Get in this live chat. Take advantage of it. We're only live on YouTube and Twitch. We're not on Twitter at all here. I'm trying to feed into the YouTube. And I can tell already by the absolute minimal audience we have right now that we're relying very heavily on Twitter for views. And we got to change that. YouTube, fantasy baseball, they're a good match. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. No, I do. I believe in myself and I believe in you. So come on over here. If you heard of this in the Discord, you came in, thanks for being here. But Anthony said, Sean Burke named opening day starting pitcher for the White Sox. I love that. I drafted him, Anthony, in, which league was that? 2 leagues. I think I took him in TGFBI, which is a 15-team 5x5 roto. And I took Sean Burke in a 14-team CBS roto league, 6x6. Very complicated. Well, more complicated categories like wins minus losses. Anybody out there use wins minus losses? Let me know. Jump in the live chat and fill me in. That's a different one. You can have a guy who has 15 wins, but if he goes 15-10, you lose all those because of the loss side. What's Uncle Ted saying here? Hey, Uncle T, we're drafting our main right now. Took Gunner at 6 overall. No shit. All right. Wow. Round of applause for Uncle Ted doing his thing. Happy for you, Ted. If you don't know, Ted's always in our live chat. He's very active. He's all over the place, and he is locked in. I think he's going for that overall championship. And if you don't know what the main event is and you're watching this for the first time, welcome in. I'm Michael Govier, and this is the Pallazzo podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah,
and
give me 2.
NFBC is a website where they host fantasy baseball. High stakes, but they do all kinds of leagues, redraft mainly. But the NFBC is where we also host the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational, which is our home league, our podcast league. The 5th year we're doing this. Utah, give me 5. Very excited. I'm actually in progress with mine because I was in the last league. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4 leagues, and now we're drafting the 5th league, and they all compete overall. So you can win the individual league in the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational. You win $450 for first, and you can also win the overall. We've had 4 champs, 4 overall champions, and now we're looking for number 5. Will it be you? Well, if you didn't sign up already, it's too late because we closed it down because it's a slow draft. And another thing I'm learning is that slow drafts are not commonplace to a lot of folk out there. There's a lot of people who play fantasy baseball who've never heard of slow drafts. They don't know what they are. And I like them a lot because they give you time. They help you accrue through a longer period of time. I know there's nothing quite like the draft experience where it's just you, do or die. You got 3 hours like Anthony did for me at Tout Wars this past Sunday. Thank you, Anthony, so much. Thank you. Thank you. He saved my butt. He was my proxy. And that auction took almost 4 hours. And auctions do take a while. That's different. So, Anthony says, RotoWire said my 2 teams are projected to be the best ones.
Great job.
Wow, dude. What a shocker.
Wow, dude.
Jump in this live chat. Come in here now. 5 people? That's BS. Come on, 5 people. If I had put this on Twitter, we'd have like 300 people. But we need people on the YouTube. This is my quest. This is my new goal. My new focus is to grow the YouTube channel. Funnel us in here. It's just as good on YouTube as it is on Twitter. I assure you of that. In fact, it might be better. Some people are saying.
China.
So what do you got to say to me? Let me take some water and let's hear some thoughts from, look who's here. HPHP. It's good to see you.
Coors.
Have a cold one on me, buddy. I haven't seen you, I don't think. I don't think I've seen you in the new draft season. HPHP was a regular from last year. Welcome back. He says, what's up? fantasy baseball family, we doing this to ourselves again. Then, that's right, we're doing this to ourselves again. Good to see you. What up, my friend? Absolutely. Anthony says 2026 Govier and Anthony going to enter the Vegas drafts and run wild. Yeah, I went to Vegas again. If you don't know, NFBC hosts a live event for their big main event, also for other events in Vegas, and it's this weekend. It's always during the start of March Madness too, which is a double whammy because you're going there to draft fantasy baseball. Last time I was there was in 2023, and it was at the Mirage, and you got March Madness going on, which is awesome, right? Does my connection suck? I'm looking at. Let me know if this connection is slow or looks like garbage, okay? Because I need to know these things. It matters to me greatly. It matters a great deal to me. I take this job seriously. Well, it's not really a job. I mean, I love this show. I love doing what we do here. But if you want to help the show, we're looking for opportunities to share the wealth. We've got new Hello? Am I still here? I disappeared for a second. I disappeared. Where did I go? Whoa! I did. I'm back. Am I back? Am I alive? Am I still here? Is this me?
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. Sorry about that. All right. HP says, thank you, sir. You are welcome. Why are half my potential keepers already day to day? Yep. Sorry about that. Some of us are dealing with that, but who are some of those players, HP? I'd be curious to find out. Is it serious, or is it more somebody's got diarrhea? Because Wilyer Abreu had diarrhea. Mookie Betts apparently had diarrhea. He's lost a bunch of weight, supposedly, and he's missing the series in Japan, which is happening right now in Japan between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Game 2 will be this morning. Uncle Ted says, Gunner round 1, Harper round 2. Okay, well, those are two solid plays. Safe floor for sure. Anthony says, did you hang out with Mike the Mouth? Yeah, I know Mike. Sure, I hung out with Mike the Mouth. I was in Mike the Mouth, for people who don't know, and there's a lot of you that don't know. He's this guy who hosts his own league for the NFBC, and he does a Midnight Madness draft. It starts at midnight in Vegas on, I think, Friday night, and I did it one year. It was like $750 entry fee, 12-team Roto 5x5. And I remember that this dude, Carter, was just MIA. Nobody could find him. I think he was hammered, and like he had passed out, and this is a live draft. You have in-person draft, okay, not on your computers. So somebody tracked Carter down, and he ended up showing up, and hell, I think he did better than me in that league that year. So that's kind of funny. Oh, Magic Mike Govier. I definitely don't look like Magic Mike. Upset gut. Yep, diarrhea is bad, man. It's tough. Truff? Anthony says Betts is badly sick. Oh, no. Well, I'm not trying to make fun if it's that serious, I guess. I should peel it back, take it back. Gunna J-Rod. So you like Gunner and J-Rod? Those are your two keepers? Because those guys are awesome keepers. In the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational, first round, no J-Rod in my league, League 5. Shout out League 5, everybody out there in League 5 who knows me, like Don and Al. Big Al is always in our Discord asking for trade advice. Our Discord is awesome for trade advice. It's totally free. Description has the link 24/7. Got it? But J-Rod went at pick 20, I think, in our league. I thought that was pretty late. In fact, it is. I'm sure it's much later for ADP. I didn't think he'd ever get J-Rod past, I don't know, pick 14 or 13 even. But I guess our league did not think very highly of him. Anthony says, Darvish hurt. Yeah, he's got some elbow concerns. It's a real buzzkill. So, and then, yeah, Jung-Ho Lee from the Giants got hurt. But the good news is that Jung-Ho Lee, supposedly it's not like a serious structural issue. Obviously, last year, Jung-Ho Lee missed most of the season due to separated shoulder, and he had surgery. His rookie year in San Francisco was cut short. So, when you see that Jung-Ho Lee is going to be okay, but he's dealing with injuries again to start 2025, it does make at least it makes me kind of like, oh man, this dude, what is with this dude? Is he too frail? Can he not stay healthy? Because you guys know, health is half the battle. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. Okay, I'm doing G.I. Joe. That was fun. Anyways, can we get at least 200 plate appearances from Jung Ho Lee this year?
Genius, genius, genius.
No, it doesn't take a genius to be somewhat concerned about that. But I did like Lee in a lot of drafts for having batting average value at around pick 200 or later. Someone to keep an eye on. If you're finding yourself short on batting average as your draft keeps going deeper and deeper, Jung Ho Lee is a name that you need to put in your queue and think about him for maybe helping out with batting average, because he can hit 280. And that's nice if you get him after pick 200. The guys who can hit 280 after that area of the draft become a little bit more scarce, if you know what I mean. Know what I mean, Vern? Let's see. Anthony says, Gerard Encarnacion, breakout incoming. Yeah, you've mentioned him before. If you're not familiar with Gerard Encarnacion, as I take a sip of water here, Mike Virginia, shout out to you, buddy. ASMR water break. Ooh, bo, bo. That's delicious. That's so, so good. Joe's here. Hey, Joe. Did someone say G.I. Joe? I'm suddenly hungry for pork chop sandwiches. I love pork chop sandwiches. Pork chop sandwiches. Great call, Joe. That's a great callback. If you've never seen that video, make sure you go find it. I think that was in the 2000s. Remember those days of the internet? It was a different time. It was a different time, was it not? All right, so what do you got? Hit me with questions. Come on. I'm here for you right now. Take advantage of me. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's cut the shit, all right? It's just me tonight. Follow all of the people in the Pallazzo podcast. I've been wanting to get some alone time with just you guys so we could talk. You know, I love doing the show with Britton and Mike, and I love doing the show with Robbie and Benjamin. By the way, we did a brand new Next Big Three prospect show last night, and that's now available on our YouTube 24/7. So check that one out. We did the Phillies, Pirates, and Cardinals. J.J. Weatherholt, anybody? Can I interest you in a Weatherholt? Or no?
We're going to get all in your face and point out your faults.
Yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, is J.J. Weatherholt the future in St. Louis? I don't know if he's the future, but he's certainly a part of things.
Great job.
Right? Tom's here. What's up, Tom? What? What? Is that a South Park reference, or am I just reading into that? Anthony says, Nick Pollock told me, give your best Govier impression. All I said was, we going to win. Yeah. Nick sent me a video with him and Anthony, because, again, at Tout Wars last weekend in beautiful Midtown, New York City, Anthony was my proxy. My flight got all gargled up, and Anthony saved my life. How to save a life. I don't think I like that song, but I just sang it. 2 W's, 2 WAs, 2 W's, 2 Wa's? Wawa? Is this about Wawa, the gas station snack shop? Joe says, are you taking any shots? Okay, thank you, Joe. A question. Joe, I can always count on you. You're the best, man. By the way, I love Joe. Joe is awesome. And so is Tom, because Tom just said, great podcast. Thanks for all the good info. You're damn right. Here for you, Tom. You can ask me a question right now. I'm here to service you 24/7. At least while we're live and available. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, all the things that help the show grow, okay? And if you really want to take things up a notch, we do have something new now. We are allowed to take super chats, super stickers, super thanks. These are ways to contribute to the show monetarily. Yes, I know even mentioning money is a faux pas, taboo, but if we could have more revenue from the show, which we finally unlocked with our 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, that's why it was such a big deal. And if we could get more revenue going, then we could do more shows and put more stuff. Like last night, I don't know if you saw it, I released a new song. And thanks again, Tom, for the great words. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go back to Joe's question here, too. Hang on, Joe, I'm with you. But I did a Seiya Suzuki parody of Hey Ya, and I think it's really good. And hopefully you've seen it. And if you haven't, go check it out on our YouTube page. It's pretty good. I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, Andre 3000 is a unique entertainer. And I am not Andre 3000, in case you're looking at me. I'm nothing like him at all. I just never had what it took to be Andre 3000.
Great job.
And that's okay. But I did my best to pay tribute to the song and to a man I love this year, Seiya Suzuki. I just love Seiya. I'm drafting him everywhere this year. I know the obliques can cause a problem with Seiya Suzuki, but I just feel like this is all coalescing. A couple years in now, came over from Japan. He's in his prime. He hits for decent average. He's got an excellent eye. He can get you a 370 OBP. He can steal you 20 bases, hit you 25 home runs. Those are all good things. As an outfielder, he should be a crucial part of your plan this year. Seiya Suzuki should be that. Okay? Good. Lock it in. First time I locked in anything today on the show, by the way. You believe that? Damn! Anyway, so as far as Jesus Luzardo, Tom says, that Seiya video was funny. Thank you! Thank you, brother. That's what I'm talking about, Tom. You rule. Anthony says, stars and scrubs or balance? What's your favorite build? Okay, we'll come back to that. So, Jesus Luzardo. Now, Jesus Luzardo is still just so young. He's in his prime ages right now. This is the time for Jesus Luzardo to become what he should be. Last year, his ratios ballooned a bit. He had injuries. He only pitched 66 innings last season. But now Luzardo's with Philly. The win probability goes up, right? I think we should see a career high for Jesus Luzardo in wins this season. Call me crazy. I know that's not much of a big leap, right?
I apologize.
Well, no, I'm not going to apologize for it. But Jesus Luzardo was one of the most highly touted pitching prospects when he was with the A's. Remember this? God, time moves so quickly, but don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you've been, right? So that way you know where you're going. But Jesus Luzardo has the ability to miss bats, and he can get you wins. And the only really concern I have to think with Jesus Luzardo, it's not talent, right? It has to be, can he stay healthy? And that's a lot of pitchers, right? Now, he did avoid TJ. Remember he had the forearm strain a couple seasons ago? And he sat out for a while, but then he came back and gave, I think, about 80 innings pitched from August 1st on, and he was really good for the Marlins during that time. But you just never get a complete season from Jesus Luzardo. So am I taking shots? To simply answer Joe's question, yes, I am taking shots on Jesus Luzardo 100%. I just believe that he has everything aligned here. And if we can get 125 innings out of Jesus Luzardo, I think those are going to be some of the best 125 innings we've ever seen in Jesus Luzardo's career. That's how I feel about it. Okay? Got me? Good. Beat it. Go on. Go ahead. Leave. Who needs it? Chris Farley? But yeah, I love Jesus Luzardo this year, and I would take Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo? What's wrong with me? Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo. Since when can I not talk? Jesus Luzardo. Jeez. I can't believe that. Joe says you're also allowed to play commercials. That's right. We do commercials on here now. Only old school commercials. So if you have any old school commercial ideas you'd like to see on the show for our commercial breaks, send them in. You can email us. You know, we have an email, palazzopodcast@gmail.com. That's a real thing. Yeah, we never get emails, but you can email us. Of course, the Discord is a great way to connect with us. We're on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. But this YouTube is where we make our nut. Why is that the word? Make our nut. I got a screen behind me that's blocked by my computer, so I have to do this. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so let's talk Jose Soriano, Pallazzo Podcast, 2 L's,
Utah.
2 Z's.
Give me 2.
Jose Soriano has a lot of love from the fantasy baseball community based on the industry side of things. If you bring his name up, it seems like there'll be several people that will jump in and say, ooh, Jose Soriano, I really like him. Can you really like an Angels pitcher not named Shohei Ohtani? Obviously, he's a Dodger now, right? I mean, there are a lot of guys the Angels have in their roster this year where I want to be excited, but I just don't trust him. As Benjamin Chase, my dear friend and partner here on the Pallazzo Podcast, make sure you follow him at Big Gentle Ben. He's the best. He constantly points out that the Angels are one of the worst in baseball at developing their players. In-house, and really just seems all the way around. I mean, Mickey Moniak, yeah, he showed a little bit of life for the first time when the Angels picked him up, so you can give him that, I guess. Is that exciting? Taylor Ward was left for dead. He came alive a couple years back. We'll give the Angels credit for that. You can if you want. I'm trying to be somewhat generous here to the Angels organization, but I look at Jose Soriano, and I'm wondering, how does he slot into your rotation on your fantasy team? I mean, this is a guy who didn't miss enough bats, in my opinion. I'll have to look it up, but off the top of my head, I believe I was a little disappointed at his inability to get the whiff, as Dan Patrick used to say once upon a time, right? What are you guys saying over here? Oh! Hey. Oh! Anthony says, you guys are asking so many questions now, so I got to stay with this question, and I'll go to the other questions you got. But I'm wondering what you guys think. Tell me in the live chat. Do you like Jose Soriano this season? I haven't drafted him anywhere yet. It just hasn't come up. I haven't focused on drafting him. I haven't exactly ignored him entirely either. I'm just like, I'm just not sure that I trust. It's like you say Kikuchi. Kikuchi's on the Angels now, and he's a guy we know can miss bats, right? He had over 200 strikeouts, 206 strikeouts last year. I think Kikuchi did in like 170 innings. The guy is now an Angel, and suddenly I'm paranoid and suspect, even though Kikuchi's well-documented command issues throughout his career still are relevant. But he puts that Angels uniform on, and I get suspect. And you look at Soriano last season, 113 innings pitched. Again, this is on the live stream, which is exclusively where we're doing this on YouTube. And are you impressed? I see a mix of blue and red with shades of a salmon. Would you call that a salmon? What would you call that color that's not fully red? It's not blue. It's kind of in the middle. I don't know. That's a good question. Bottom line is, I am interested in Jose Soriano at 26 years old, but I'm not focusing on him. I don't see I didn't look at his profile and be like, oh God, I got to have Soriano. That hasn't come up to me. Okay. So that's my opinion, and so be it. Joe Lowry says Soriano was a strikeout dude in the pen, but not so much out of the rotation. Yes, exactly. So the potential is there, but why in the world would you trust the Angels to figure it out? Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Joe. You said it better than I did. You should host this show. By the way, Joe is a good host. Joe's an underrated podcaster. Do you guys know that? We got to have Joe back on. It's been forever since he's been on this show, so that's way overdue. HP says, Brother Tucker, Gunner, J-Rod, Langford, Trey Turner, Pasquantino, Crochet, Reagan. Which 5 do you keep? Out of all these, I wonder if he changed the brother part. Let's see. You say his name more than 3 times, he gets injured. I don't know who you're talking about. Am I missing out? Is that Gunner? I don't know. But back to these. Who do you guys keep? 5 guys? You're keeping Tucker. You're keeping J-Rod and Gunner. You're keeping Crochet. Now, what is this? Is it head-to-head cats? Is it points? What's the format here? That does influence my opinion, but without knowing any other context, which we always want to know more, I'd like to know as much as I possibly can about the league where you're making these keeper decisions for. That always matters. Because on the surface, I want Crochet, Reagan's, Tucker, Gunner, and might go Langford over J-Rod. That's a good question, actually. 2 years from now, what will be the difference between Wyatt Langford and Julio Rodriguez? Are we talking a better batting average for Wyatt Langford, maybe? Power? I mean, steals? Is Langford going to steal more bags than Julio Rodriguez? I think that's a really interesting one. We should keep tabs on that. Let's write that down. It's a good thing we're doing the show live and it's being recorded because we can go back in time and remember this and say, hey, remember that time we tried to compare J-Rod and Wyatt Langford? We were curious where those two would be compared to one another in 2 to 3 years. I think they're both guys you'd want to have. So those are my 5. I don't know who Brother was unless Brother Tucker is what they call him now. Did I miss that? Brother Tucker. Yeah, he meant that. Brother Tucker. HP said that in the live chat. Okay. Oh, he's also telling me, yes, it's head-to-head. I'm rusty. No, don't apologize. I'm just letting you know. That's my job here to remind you. I'm here to help you, okay? I'm just trying to help out. You don't have to apologize for that. I appreciate you, HP. He says, I think you're onto something there looking at their health. Yeah. I think it's interesting, too. All right. Thanks for being here, HP. I'm not going to say HP. It's just too much to say. I'm just going to say HP. I think that's what I called you last year, right, HP? Good. HP or Hewlett Packard? Who do you guys got? Which will be the company that rules the world by 2025? Dang! Anthony says, I had Ryan Weathers for $2. I threw him back in the pool. He looks good. I had to pay $18 in my lead to get him back. Oh! Fiction can be fun. Sorry, Anthony. And speaking of a guy that the industry is high on this year, this is another guy, Ryan Weathers. Everyone's talking about Ryan Weathers. That the velocity's up. Things are looking good. This is his time to really put it all together. Ryan Weathers, Ryan Weathers, Ryan Weathers. I remember when he came up with the Padres a few years back, I was somewhat interested. There was an appeal, was there not? I know there was, but is this a guy now that if we draft Ryan Weathers, he's going to be an X factor, a game changer? You could draft him as your 6th starter, and maybe he returns, I don't know, round 5 value? Is that what people are expecting? I mean, last year, 86 innings. You got an ERA under 4 and a whip under 1.20, which is solid. We want that. We like that, right? I do wonder, see, the thing with these pitcher lists, when I show these on the YouTube feed, I use the pitcher list graphics because I love their graphics. I think they look really nice in terms of giving you a quick picture, organized, looks nice, looks classy, looks solid. But I always want the information from Fangraphs, right? I mean, that's where I'm going deeper. Of course, StatCast page, which we don't use as much on this show, and maybe I should use it more often. I do use it in my own life, individually, privately. Last year, Weathers had a 4.11 FIP compared to that 3.63 ERA. That's interesting. He did cut down on the walks a bit. That's why the big help last year, down to 2.5 walks per 9. He was jumped up before that at 4. But in his rookie year with San Diego, he was back at 2.85 with the walks per 9 as well. So, you know, he had some health issues, struggled a bit. Maybe he's back to basics and trying to grow from here. That's interesting. Very interesting. His Sierra last year was 3.98. Okay, so 3.98 Sierra on a 3.63 ERA means it wasn't all just luck, and maybe he's more of a 4 ERA guy, but if he can keep the walks down, Ryan Weathers can in 2025, and keep his command focused and play a lot of his games at Marlins Park, yeah, he's worth drafting. I'm just not, I gotta have Ryan Weathers. Oh. Is that a pretty picture for you guys or what? Oh, what a day. EA all day, our pal, our man. We love you, EA. Hey, Gove, where are you at on Matt McClain? Acceptable second base starter in a 12-team league? You damn right he is. I am all in on Matt McClain. This guy's ready to rock. I have no fear. I have no doubts. We got the talent. We got lots of tools. The only thing he won't do maybe is hit 30 dongs. This guy is going to hit. He's going to floor with 300. Hit 20 home runs for sure, steal you the 20 bags, and being up in that lineup, score 100 runs this year, Matt McClain. Yeah, we go 0 to 100 in a hurry. I love Matt McClain. I have no doubts, and you should not either. Anybody can get hurt on any given day, but does McClain have the talent? Yes. And the opportunity? Yes. He's not a platoon guy. He's going to be in that lineup all the time. So I love Matt McClain, and you should too. And I like second base. I think second base gets disrespected every single year. And I always find guys that are deep in there that have value. So don't let people dig into what you see first before you say, oh, well, that person said that position is shallow this year, so it must be true. No. Look for yourself. Or ask us. Yeah. Because we know what we're talking about here on the Pallazzo Podcast. 2 L's.
Utah.
2 Z's. Boop,
Give me 2.
Boop. Did I... Oh, yeah. So I just started a goal. I know we won't hit it, but we are accepting super chats. We're trying to get 5 super chats tonight. So this is the first time we get to do this regularly, and that's why I'm here. Yes, I'm trying to make money for all of the people on the show, for Ben and Robbie and Mike and Britton and Sam, all of us. By the way, Bozo Fest is a week from tonight. Opening day eve. I can't do it on the Wednesday because I'm flying out to Colorado. I'm going to be gone for a month. I'm going to Colorado for a whole month. Yeah, I got to help take care of my brother. He's sick, and we're going to get him well. So I'm going out there. I'll be gone. But I can't miss Bozo Fest. So we're doing it on Tuesday, the 25th next week, instead of the Wednesday, which is the real opening day eve. But we're still going to have a great time. We're going to call our shots. We're going to predict who hits a home run on opening day, the real opening day. I'm very excited for it. So make sure you're there Tuesday, March 25th, Bozo Fest, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Anthony wants to know who's winning March Madness. I filled out a bracket real quick, like 3 hours ago. and somehow ended up with Alabama as the winner. So, okay, there's my answer. Tom says he's going with Tucker, Gunner, Langford, Crochet, and Reagans for those keepers we were talking about with HP earlier. EAL Day says, speaking of the Angels, I play in head-to-head Cats leagues with OPS instead of average. I noticed the ATC projections love Taylor Ward with those league settings. Same with Jorge Soler. What are your thoughts on both these guys, Taylor Ward and Jorge Soler? Excellent choices. I draft Taylor Ward every year, and it seems we get something, and it looks good, and then he gets hurt. But I love his ability. I think I was looking at who leads the league in OPS over the last 3 years, on average, because, not everybody qualifies. And I know that Taylor Ward won't qualify some of the years because he's been hurt enough, and that's disappointing for some, especially me. But in an OPS league, I really like Taylor Ward. Now, with Jorge Soler, where are we with Jorge Soler at this point? I'm curious what you guys think, too. He's in L.A. now, not the Dodgers. I wish. You imagine Soler as a Dodger? What a season that would be. No, he's an Angel. He hit 21 bombs last year between the two teams he played for, the Marlins and Braves, right? The Braves tried to rekindle the magic of 2021. Didn't quite work out. And outside of the 2 seasons where Jorge Soler, I have something wrong with, I have a tooth issue down here, and it's impacting my ability to speak, and I admit that freely. So you can judge me accordingly, but just know that, okay? It really hurts. But Soler, he had the 48 dongs in the 2019 Bozo year where the ball was super bouncy, and he hit 36 in 2023 while playing home games at Marlins Park, which is impressive. But outside of those seasons, what have you really gotten from Jorge Soler? So it seems like more risk than reward. He's got a career WRC plus of 113. Remember, 100 is average, so that's not bad. And his career OPS, by the way, is, anyone want to guess off the top of their head, what is the career OPS for Jorge Soler? Anybody have the answer real quick? Don't look it up. Take a guess. What is Jorge Soler's career OPS? Oh, you guys have your own chat going on in here. Jamie's here. UNC is playing now. That's right. The Tar Heels made it in. MJ, join my sleeper bracket. Oh, yeah, I saw that. If it's free, I will. That was in the Discord. Again, one of the many benefits of the Discord. People throw out links for their free have fun brackets and all that jazz. It's wonderful. Tom says, isn't Weathers always hurt? Yeah, he's had injury problems. There's no doubt about it. But I guess when I bring up injuries to pitchers, somebody said to me the other day, all pitchers are injured. I'm like, well, that's not exactly true. Is it? So, should we worry about McLean's health? No. He had a bad injury last year. It happens. But I don't see him as injury prone. His build, McLean's build is rock solid. If I'm to go off of just that, I'm not worried about future injuries. But since he's only played 1 season, and then the other season was completely lost to the shoulder issue, then I understand why we're concerned. But it's too little. It's incomplete data. And I don't think there's any reason to be alarmed about McLean's health, okay? All right. Thank you. Brother, as in you. Okay. Oh, we said this one already. That's my default Yahoo name on bad. I don't know what that is. Tom says lots of salmon on that page. Yeah, that's right. The salmon page. You don't hear about that as much on StatCast, do you? HP said he took a guess. Jorge Soler's OPS, 500. Actual retail price is, I'm going to guess before I look. I'm going to say Soler has a career OPS. Wait. Not slugging. You're saying his OPS is 500? Because that's too low. You maybe his slugging would be 500. I could see that. But I think his OPS, Soler's OPS is probably like 743. That's my guess. Answer is 794. 794 OPS career. That's almost an 800 career OPS. That's pretty damn good. For a guy who is an afterthought or a guy that you can get way later in drafts, Jorge Soler, OPS leagues, he should get a bump. You're right. If OPS is a category, Soler gets a bump. And so does Ward. I like Ward more than Soler, but I do concede that Soler could hit more dongs. They're both on the same team this year, though, Taylor Ward and Jorge Soler, so that'll be fun. Maybe they got like a side bet going on in the locker room. Locker room? Oh my God, I called. You're supposed to call it a clubhouse, Govier. This is baseball, it's not football.
Great job.
Sorry about that. I made a huge mistake.
I apologize.
Yeah. You guys forgive me? You guys forgive me, please? Come on.
I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, we all been there. Jamie says, Ward, I end up snagging him off waivers at some point during the season. 25 should be out next week. Oh, the show? MLB The Show? Yeah. I don't play that anymore, but anybody who plays MLB The Show, enjoy. The only game I really play with a passion is College Football 25, which was awesome. I love that game. What a return to glory it was after the long wait. So many years without a college football game. We finally got one. Yes. What a great year it was. Okay. So, there you have it. Anybody else? Jump in here. Let me know. Is it me or is third base looking really strapped right now, says HP. Okay. Great question. Let's get into this. Let's go to the tape. You make the call. Is anybody old enough to remember those commercials? You make the call. And then it'd be during a commercial break, and then they'd come back with the answer after a commercial, and it was like, that was like so unique. It always stood out to me. Like, oh, wow. It's like they know I'm here. And they're not just giving me regurgitated commercials. This is cool. You make the call. Third base. I know who are some guys I like. And this is one of the things about doing a show is you give away some of your secrets. But hey, you're supposed to give away your secrets and still go out and win anyways, right? That's what I was taught a long time ago by some of the masters in this craft. Let's fire up the rankings here on Fantasy Pros. This is Fantasy Pros. Shout out to them. Good people over there. Joey P., the Welsh, my peeps. I haven't seen those guys in a while. Hope they're doing well. I usually go on with them once a year before opening day and just haven't had the time this year. So we're looking at third base. Is it a nightmare? True or false? And as I look at this, let me zoom it in a bit more. Make it, whoops, I'm zooming in the wrong page. Oh, it's hard when you're doing everything at once, producing and hosting and thinking and analyzing. But I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So, obviously, the guys at the top, we love these guys. Then you get into, look, Mark Vientos is a name I love. I would wait for Vientos as my starter at third base. I would. That is right.
Can't do it.
No, I can do it. Then the Jake Berger. I love Berger. We're talking 40 home runs from Berger this year. 40 home runs. I think it's going to happen. Is that the wrong button? That wasn't positive, was it? And then Alec Bohm. I love Alec Bohm. I'm seeing depth here. I don't see a lack. I see depth. I mean, we're 15 third basemen in here. I love Bohm. I love Berger. Vientos, for sure. Eugenio Suarez, he could be hit or miss. He was kind of almost dead last year on the brink of disaster, and then he had a huge tear in the second half, and Eugenio Suarez was suddenly a badass, and everyone wanted a piece. That's what he does. Eugenio Suarez is extremely, notice how my voice went up, extremely streaky. When I roster him all season, I'd like to find someone a little bit more secure. Okay, Josh Young. This is a really interesting one because Josh Young, his wrist is killing us. He looks so... I loved Young 2 years ago, and I was so in on him. I'm like, oh, my God, this Josh Young guy is a badass. He's a perennial stud, cranking 30 dongs a year, giving us a decent average. Josh Young is a guy I want in Dynasty. And now here we are in 2025, and a lot of time has gone by, and we've got nothing out of Josh Young. Is that fair? Well, it's the truth. I'm not going to judge it. I'll let you guys decide. But I haven't drafted Young yet just because I'm worried about his injuries. It wasn't just the wrist, right? I mean, if I pull up the page, and by the way, you would never expect this. There's a Fox Sports has a page for injuries that are just outstanding. It keeps track of everything. And I found this out a couple seasons ago, and I've always tried to share it with everybody. Hey, if you're looking for like a quick injury profile of all their injuries a possible player has had, go check out the Fox Sports page. If you Google Josh Young injuries, usually it'll be like the second or third option in the search. And here it is, right? So I'm going to share this tab. Here we go. See, look at this. Nice little setup. Thanks, Fox Sports. I didn't know you had this in you. Impressive. Wrist, thumb, hand. And those injuries cost him a lot of playing time. And that's a bummer, man. It's a bummer for all of us, right? So, should I be drafting Josh Young? I think I probably should get a share now. But are you guys suspect? Are you guys worried? Are you skeptical like me? Like, I don't know if I can trust this guy. Anthony says, I love Caminero this season. Yeah, Caminero. Hell yeah. Although strikeouts with Caminero, also a concern for me. I have to admit that freely. But yeah, the more I look at third base here, which we're doing live here in the Pallazzo podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
Thanks for being here.
Give me 2.
Matt Shaw, who made the opening day roster. How about that? I haven't drafted Shaw anywhere. Luis Rengifo's a guy I never draft. I just don't trust it. But he has reinvented himself over the last couple of years as a guy that seems to be somewhat reliable. Guy who can hit 300. He only hit 300 in, I think it was less than 300 plate appearances last season. But, 25 steals, solid average, and a little bit of pop. Rengifo, racking up the runs. Maybe I should be drafting Rengifo. He also has multiple positional eligibility, which is nice for Rengifo. Max Muncy is a guy who can hit 35 home runs in an outstanding Dodger lineup. Now we're at the 21st third baseman. There's Michael Garcia, who won't be leading off this year. He'll be at the bottom of the order, which is disappointing. But in head-to-head where volume is not as important, I think Michael Garcia is a guy that you should take a shot at. Despite how bad he was last year, his hard hit rate, I looked into that, went down 8% from the previous year. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly accounts for that. Why did he hit the ball with such less authority last season? And can he get it back this year? And if he does, this is a guy who can steal you 40 bases. And when you start to get deeper in your draft and you notice that you're a little light on steals, Michael Garcia is a guy that I'm still into. He's still so young. He's only 24. And Kansas City has not given up on Michael Garcia. And I love him as a deep, deep third base option. I do. That's me. And then there's Connor Norby, who I love. I've been drafting Connor Norby aplenty. He's been my backup corner infielder. I think he was actually my starting third baseman in TGFBI. I just said, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And I'll wait on Connor Norby. And I waited a long time, and we'll see if it blows up in my face. But I really like his profile. We saw a nice little flash from what he did with the Marlins last season. Yes, the strikeouts are always a concern, but he's growing. He's learning. He'll figure it out. He could have a rough stretch first before he does figure it out. I concede that entirely. But I like Connor Norby. I like you, Connor Norby. You're not like the other people here at the trailer park. And then after that, 30... Brian Hayes, 30 third baseman in. Who's drafting Brian Hayes? I know every year in the industry there's guys who love Brian Hayes, but at this point he's shown us who he is. When else are we going to get out of Brian Hayes? Other than you get some steals at a position where you don't normally get a lot of those. I don't know what else there is. Also, there's Christopher Morel. He's a guy that I'm really... I think he's an important guy to be looking at because Morel has had some great moments at the MLB level already. And last year was just so bad. But that's the last thing we'll remember. We're stuck with his sub 200, sub Mendoza line batting average last season. But the guy can hit 30 home runs. And in the new park they're in, playing outdoors in Steinbrenner Field for the Rays this season, a new year. The whole Rays offense was shit last year. If you look up and down the roster, a lot of bogus production from the Rays offense. So Christopher Morel is a guy I feel like I should draft, but I'm being hesitant because why? The strikeouts? That he won't play enough? The Rays are going to ray, as people say, and Morel might hit the pine more often than I want him to. Platoons are a real thing. But, we're getting into the 30th third baseman, and there's guys that I think are still valid. Matt Vierling is 32 on that list. Matt Vierling's a guy I would even draft in some 12-teamers. I would, depending on the setup and the roster construction. When healthy, we're just waiting on him to come back from injury. Matt Vierling's a guy who's got third base and outfield eligibility. That's something that can be useful to you. A little bit of power. He can score 80-plus runs, steal some bags. Again, another guy who's coming in the prime of his career, Matt Vierling. Uncle Ted giving us a live update on his main event. Bryce Harper, Ozzie, Gunnar, Devers, Naylor, Luis Garcia, and PCA. Are those the guys you've taken in your main event? Am I to understand this correctly? Ooey! Hey, Ooey2K, what's up? Ooey. I was thinking about you last week. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're still here. I hope you didn't leave. I was thinking about... What did I do? What did I do, man? It was you and me, right, who got into the beef about Anthony Richardson? Am I remembering this correctly? It is you? Because I was so wrong. And then I thought about it. This is football, obviously, so bear with me. But I thought about it. And I said to myself, what the hell happened? When Anthony Richardson got drafted in the first round by the Colts at number 4 overall a few years back, I remember when it happened, I was like, what the hell? That guy is so raw. There's no way this guy's going to be accurate enough at the NFL level. That's what I said when Anthony Richardson got drafted. But there I was last season disagreeing with Uwe and saying, dude, this guy's going to be an awesome, badass, quarterback who can run and throw. Shane Steichen's going to unlock Anthony Richardson. And that did not happen, in case you missed last season. So
we can laugh about it now. We're all right.
Yeah, maybe we can, but what happened there, Uwe, is I put too much faith in Shane Steichen. And what I realized now that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, because this was after the fact, is that Steichen was not nearly as responsible as it was kind of purported to be. And people said, Shane Steichen really made Jalen Hurts who he was. No, because the Eagles just won a Super Bowl, and Hurts won a Super Bowl without Steichen, and they actually struggled a little bit after he left, but he got better overall because they went back to the way they were playing. So anyways, too much football on this show. I know, I'm sorry. But, Uwe, I was thinking of that. The best roster settings for a 10-team head-to-head Cats? Well, I don't know. What's best mean? I think in a 10-team head-to-head Cats, you got to have a deeper bench because it's a shallower league, right? So I think if you have 8 to 10 bench spots, that makes things more interesting on the waiver wire. Because otherwise, you got guys that are badass. Or you could go the other way. You could have a small bench, and then you got some really tough decisions with guys that would normally be rostered in 12-team leagues, right? So for me, I could go either way. I'm willing to try both styles. I've played both ways, but that's just me. So the best format, it's really just a matter of opinion. But I could try both of those styles. But you should never have more, to me, you should never have more than 10 categories in a head-to-head Cats league. That's something I can say with absolute certainty. Because I've been in leagues where it's like 8 by 8, and then you got things that are suddenly guys that you like for one category are now impacting another category. Like if you have strikeouts for hitters, there's a guy who has a great OPS, hits for a lot of power, but he's got strikeouts now, so that's a negative. And it just becomes so convoluted. I don't think that's strategic. I just think that's too chaotic. Standard 5x5, whatever, try different categories, but just keep them at 10 cats. That's something I can lock in on. And that's a good question. Thank you so much, Uwe. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. HP says, I feel third base stops at Bohm. Then Shea and Norby look promising. Well, I gave you my 2 cents there. We just went through it. That's how I feel. Joe says Morel is not good defensively. That matters with the Rays. See, Joe, this is what we're talking about. And Joe says, it is ew. Love the word. Love the play on words, Govier. Oh, like a sheep? Isn't a ewe a female sheep or is it a male? I can't remember which one. I believe that is a term for a sheep of some type. HP says, talking about 10 cats head-to-head, is quality starts even a viable category? One, with the way managers manage their starters. Yes, it still is. There's still enough starters, I feel, for quality starts that it is valid. It's not like shutouts or complete games. It hasn't gone that extreme, right? There's still enough quality starts for it to be valid. That's my opinion. But, I've been wrong before, so. Good questions, HP. I love where your head's at in the zone. Joe says, I got to include Big League Chew and sunflower seed consumption if you're going with 8x8 cats. Okay. That's a fair point. I don't even know what that means. But I do know I love Big League Chew. And if I'm playing softball or baseball, I got to have some Big League Chew. I'll even try grape. I love the sour apple. I like the strawberry. I love all the Big League Chew flavors. I celebrate the entire catalog of Big League Chew. And even though I'm 44, I'll never stop liking Big League Chew. I'll be 85, hopefully, and still loving a big old chaw Big League Chew. Tom says, I'll take the Rays lefty hitters and Candy Diaz. I assume he means Yandy. Wouldn't it be funny if his name was Candy? Candy Diaz? They should return a decent return. Yes, they should return a decent return. Everybody's getting so hyped, though. I am somewhat paranoid now because everybody's talking about left-handed hitters. left-handed hitters in Steinbrenner Field are going to be mashing. Get those Rays lefties. Get Brandon Lau. Settle in. Get Jonathan Aranda. And sometimes when things get that strong in one direction, the baseball gods will say, no, and they will go the other way. But all common sense dictates that that is what should happen. That, yes. Also, because the Rays were so bad offensively last year, they have to be better this season than they were last year. And maybe that's not always the case, but just because of the talent they have, they should be able to produce more offense. And they're not in the Trop, which is, ballpark factor-wise, the Trop was one of the bottom 5 parks for offense, which is bad news for their pitchers, too. Actually, something I've been looking at and I want to bring up is I'm suddenly realizing that I'm hesitant on some of the Rays starters now because they're pitching outdoors in the humidity in a new ballpark that has different dimensions. I've been hesitant on the piss missile, Ryan Pepio, who I loved last year. Shout out to my guy, Britton. The piss missile. He always loves that. I loved Pepio last year, so I liked him last year. He should be growing into another level in 2025, but I haven't drafted Pepio yet because I'm paranoid about this field situation, the changing of the ballparks. I am. I admit that freely. I also haven't taken Taj Bradley. So, man, I got some concerns about Rays starting pitchers. And my drafting so far has shown me that I'm more concerned than I realize. And I'm wondering what you guys think of that. Is it overhyped or not? Joe says, I've been taking Matt Wallner regularly as my 6th to 7th outfielder. Who is your guy as your first bench outfielder? Great question, Joe. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we got people asking legitimate questions. I mean, I come on here and I want to make a difference. I want to help people out and I want to give them a soundboard to bounce ideas off of. That's why I'm here. That's what I'm trying to do. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a friend. Boop, 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 boop. Who is my guy? Matt Wallner. Anthony, we were talking about Wallner, remember, on Sunday, right? Anthony got me Matt Wallner as my proxy in Tout Wars. Wallner leading off at times in the season for the Twins. Interesting. I really loved Matt Wallner last year, but it didn't go the way I wanted it to go last year with Wallner. It started off poorly, but Wallner did finish strong. And Rocco Baldelli is a guy, I don't like Rocco Baldelli's management style. There's something about it that doesn't work for me, and I continuously seem to find issues with Twins that are bothering me. But to answer this question, who is my guy, that outfielder that I need to have, that deep bench bat? That's a great question. Do I have an answer? What about Wilyer Abreu? Is that too deep? I mean, Wilyer Abreu, I loved his profile last year, and he really, really strapped in and showed me, hey, take a look what I can do. I'm Wilyer Abreu of the Red Sox. I can get on base. I can hit for some power, and I can steal a few bags. So Wilyer Abreu is suddenly less of a focal point, I think, for a lot of people right now because he's missed a lot of spring training because of the illness he had. But I love Wilyer Abreu. And I know the Red Sox have a lot of players, a lot of position players and hitters that they like. But I'm pretty sure Abreu, he's involved there. He's not just a guy who's in the mix, like Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell. Will they get a shot? No. Roman Anthony, he's not ready to come up there. Or if he is ready, there's no room for him. And Wilyer Abreu, the only concern, I guess, being is if maybe Wilyer Abreu is not ready for opening day yet, and that turns you off. But even if that's the case, if he misses a week or so, that's nothing. I'm fine with that. These are the opportunities to take advantage of when somebody gets labeled with an illness or they've missed some time in spring training. Spring training. I know it's important, but it's not that important. It's more important for pitchers than hitters, I think. But then you start to see the trend, and certain players get a label on them, and people say, oh, I don't want any of that. So I love Wilyer Abreu. I'm sticking with that. I want Wilyer Abreu in my life. I like Abreu even more in OBP leagues. I will tell you that. So if you play in OBP leagues, get yourself some Wilyer Abreu. Will yourself to will you or won't they? If I can do my Chris Berman. Oh, so dumb, isn't it?
Wow, dude.
But yeah, that's a name for you. IWI, 10-team categories, pros and cons of having 7 or 9 pitchers. Pros and cons of splitting SP and RP or all pitchers together. Interesting. 10-team categories, pros and cons. And you have 7 or 9 pitchers. I can go either way. I really just think it's about experimenting with what you like, but it's not a bad way to go either way. Because the most important thing is just to clearly identify what it will be with enough time so people can strategize around the expectation of the roster construction, right? And if you split SPs and relievers or just have them all be Ps, I do like the SP-RP a bit more. I think I'm pretty confident in saying that. Making them all Ps is less strategy. If you make them, 6 starters and 3 relievers or whatever, whatever you want to do with the ratio of the starters and relievers, then be my guest. But I do prefer that. Yes, I do. Okay? Good. Thank you so much. I'm loving this, Uwe. Good to see you. Also, we've all missed... I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Also, we've all missed of. Tom says, is CAC going to start the season in the bigs? Hell no. Caglianone? No way in hell, dude. No way in hell. Lock that in. Lock it in again. No way. I like Jack Caglianone, but he's not starting up in the big leagues. No way in hell. There's no room for him, is there? Even if there was room, they're not. They want to maintain service time manipulation, blah, 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 blah. I know he was already a college player at Florida, so it's not like he's a high schooler, but that would be stunning to me if that happened. And I know we do have this, I have to give you credit. I will say this, Tom, that we live in the era now where you get the draft pick compensation. If you can have a guy up all year and he can win Rookie of the Year, there's a benefit to that. That was one of the new changes with the CBA a few years ago. So good call. That's interesting, but I still don't think they do. Zach Veen. Oh, yeah. Zach Veen is getting all the run in spring training. Where's Chad? Somewhere out there. Our pal, Chad, our old friend on the Pallazzo podcast. Chad, where are you? Zach Veen looks like he's coming alive, and it's finally happening. He's on the 40-man roster. He's tearing it up in spring. Is this finally going to be a thing? Zach Veen? Post? Post? How many posts? You guys give me a number of posts on this one, right? And Uwe says... don't sweat the AR-15 miss. We've all missed on players. I thought Ryan Leaf would be good. Oh, that's great. I had a Ryan Leaf jersey when he got drafted. Remember, it was the 1998 draft. Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. Who's going first? Who's going second? And I remember I said, Mom, I want a Ryan Leaf jersey. I don't want the Peyton Manning jersey. I want the Ryan Leaf jersey. I believe in him. And I used to wear that jersey around after a few seasons when it was already just over for Ryan Leaf. I wore that Chargers jersey everywhere. I even wore it. I was in a band and I would wear it. I was the front man, the singer. I wore that to shows. I just loved it. God, I wish I had that jersey still. That was so funny. I don't want to buy a Ryan Leaf jersey now. I wish I had the original one from 25 years ago, 30 years ago. That'd be sweet. But yeah, good points. Thank you so much, Uwe. You're the best. HB says, okay, for 10 cat head-to-head, what 2 prospects are you drafting? 1 bat, 1 pitcher, and win. This is a great one. Wow, these are good. You guys are, I asked and I received. Ask and ye shall receive. I'm thirsty. I'm talking a lot. No super chats or super thanks or anything yet. We're trying to get to our goal of 5. This is how this works. I would say 1 hitting prospect, 1 pitching prospect. What about Thomas Sagisi, St. Louis Cardinals? Nolan Gorman on the outs. Not looking good for Nolan Gorman. Give Thomas Sagisi a chance. I really like Thomas Sagisi as a hitter. I think that's a fun one to maybe take a shot on him. Maybe he gets the call. As far as pitchers, I'm doing this all off the top of my head here. No resources or anything. Braxton Ashcraft is an interesting one. Obviously, Bubba Chandler is like the one. If somehow Bubba Chandler doesn't get drafted, he should be the guy that you try to target. That's definitely, maybe I'm trying to think too deep on this. Yeah, Bubba Chandler is your pitcher for sure. I'm saying Thomas Sagisi, but also Cam Smith should be the more targeted hitter, not Thomas Sagisi. These are two prospects. Cam Smith and Bubba Chandler. Those are two prospects to target. One hitter, one pitcher. And I feel really good about that. See, I worked it out for myself. Yay! Woohoo! Joe says some other outfield options around Wallner's ADP to discuss. Ooh. Garrett Mitchell, Nolan Jones, TJ Friedel, Lars Nootbaar, JJ Bleday, Evan Carter, Jordan Walker, and Michael Conforto. When I saw that Michael Conforto signed with the Dodgers in the offseason, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, dude, this is a match. This is such a match. Conforto's going to be the best he's been since his Mets days. Now, maybe it's not possible. Maybe Conforto will never be what he was because he was a really, really high-end OBP guy with the Mets in his early days, and I was really excited about his future. But, things happen, injuries happen, careers get derailed, and there you are. But I like Conforto in LA this year, and it's just all about opportunity. How many injuries come about? Does Conforto get to play enough games to make it meaningful? It's a platoon situation, not in his favor. As a lefty, it should be. I really like Conforto a lot. And of these guys, these names here, Garrett Mitchell, no thanks. Nolan Jones, I'm very interested to see because everyone's just written him off so much, and he showed us promise, and he was a highly regarded prospect in Cleveland. So Nolan Jones, I'm kind of putting the thumb up. I loved TJ Friedel. TJ Friedel, injuries aside, this guy could hit for a solid average, score plenty of runs, hit for some power, steal some bags. I think Friedel's being slept on big time. And I know my guy Britton Allen loves TJ Friedel. Anytime Friedel comes up, he just gets a big old grin on his face and gets excited. But I think Friedel's being slept on because of the injuries to last year, and now we're forgetting a bit what Friedel could do. But don't forget what Friedel can do for you, right? And then Nootbaar is a similar issue, a guy who has the talent and the injuries bring him down again. So people focus on the injuries like, I don't know if I can trust Nootbaar. As far as Bleday, talk about your post. He was, and that's what he did last year. It wasn't always enough to roster, though. Bleday wasn't always rosterable in 12-teamers last year, even though his final output looked pretty solid. And then Evan Carter, it's still a mystery to me. I'm not sure what to expect from Evan Carter. So much hype for him coming into last season, and now here we are a year later after a lost year. That hype has gone way down. So maybe as an everyday center fielder for the Rangers. And a lineup I really like, by the way. The Rangers lineup, the more and more I look at it, I'm like, damn, this is solid. Let's hope everybody stays healthy. I am sick of qualifying everything with, I hope they stay healthy, or, yeah, they got injuries. I got to stop doing that. We all know that, don't we? Anyways, and then Jordan Walker, who I did my great video. Did you guys see this? Did you see my video on Jordan Walker? I was really proud of it. I'm putting in the work for you guys. This is what I can do when I have more time to work on things. I can give you guys some quality content, as they say. The C word. The C word. Content. What do we call things before content? Do we even know? Does anyone know? Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Don't know why, so I can't imagine why. Oh, got time enough to cry. I love Chicago. Chicago's a great band. Have you ever listened to Chicago? They got so many great songs. And if you're a musician too, you appreciate it more. But even if you just like music, Chicago is awesome. Love Chicago, underrated. So yeah, there's some great pieces of information. Outfielders around Wallner's ADP. Thank you, Joe. You're the best. And then this was, before we get to more of your questions here. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Where'd it go? What did I do? What have I done? I think I made a mistake here. Whoopsie-daisy. Whoopsie. What is going on? Hey. What is going on here? I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. Okay, I was trying to add this. Whoops, that file's a bit too large. What? There's a size limit for video clips? Screw you. Boo! All right, well, I guess I can't play that now. There it is. Yeah, Saturday in the park. I think it was 4th of July. People want hear people blah, blah. A man selling T-Bell. Wouldn't it be funny if there's a man selling T-Bell? Singing Italian songs. I'm so glad you just said that. You know Chicago. That makes me happy because that's a big band. That's not just some afterthought, right? Oh, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this. Thanks for being everybody on this fun AMA, Fantasy Baseball AMA. Oh, Ink to Audio. What's up, buddy? Do you think Birdsong gets that 5th spot? Hey, good to have you here. You look like a newer name to me, Ink to Audio. I don't think I know you. I would love to get to know you. I hope you're subscribing and you like the video. And we're taking super chats too. You know, if you want to contribute to the cause, we're eternally grateful. Do you think Birdsong gets that 5th spot? I don't. But this could be a coin toss between Kyle Harrison and Birdsong. I like Harrison. I like Birdsong too, especially more strikeout potential with Birdsong. I don't deny that. I mean, late last year, Birdsong came alive, had double-digit strikeout games. It was like, dude, Hayden Birdsong's a badass. But Kyle Harrison still gave us about 124 innings last year, and it was a learning experience. He's not as explosive as Birdsong, but I think the Giants could use another lefty in their rotation. Harrison is a lefty. Birdsong is not. These things matter. It comes to their options, though. I think both of them still have 3 options, so they can be sent down. I'm going Harrison by a hair. That's what I think happens, but I do admit that I would like to have some more insider info on how that finally shapes out, because that's an interesting final spring training battle, right? Who's going to get that spot in the Giants rotation? Tom says, I still have a Joey Harrington jersey. Yeah! Remember Joey Harrington playing the piano on Monday Night Football? That was the end. Is that really H2O you sipping? You're damn right it is. I love water, man. Look at this. What do you think? It's pure vodka? No. Oh, tequila? Hell no. I've drank enough tequila in my life. I'm good. I had a good run. Trust me. I kind of sound like Chris Walken there for a second, didn't I? I had a good run. Trust me. Look, that sucked. I'm sorry. I like all the San Francisco pitchers, but it scares me a bit pitching in that division. I think he's sipping on some goose. No. Uncle Ted says Thomas Harrington. That's a guy. Oh, my God. We got a super chat. Yay! The first super chat in the history of the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational. History of the Pallazzo Podcast YouTube. You did it. HP. Thank you so much. It's so kind of you. I don't even know what to say right now. Look at that. Thank you. I'm going to remember this forever. HP, you were the inaugural super chat for all times. You. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm never going to forget this moment. 11/11 on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. Nobody else cares, but I do. Thank you so much, HP. That's so kind of you. Woohoo! Wow. Man, that's so cool. That's a big moment for me. I've been doing this show for 5+ years now. We've had this channel for 5 years. Started from nothing, and it's just mainly about fantasy baseball. Not about just baseball overall. Yes, we cover a little bit of fantasy football, but that's pretty much it. No outside help. No additional infrastructure to support us from a CBS Sports or anything like that, or RotoWire. It's just us. That's what you got here. And we think we've been doing a damn good show as well as anybody else out there. So we're really grateful for this. I know all the guys would be like, dude, this is so kind of you. Thank you, HP. You are the best. You are the best, the brightest and best. How do I super chat? Well, apparently you go into the chat. If you're in the chat on the YouTube, there's a thing that says super chat, and it's like at the top, and you click on it, and you can do it. I've never done it myself. Oh, yeah, it's that dollar bill button right next to where you type in the chat on YouTube. You see the emoji button, and then there's the a dollar bill thing right next to that. So you can click on that, and that's how you super chat. So we welcome it. We're grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. HP says, my league is full of sharks, brother. I'll try both of those. Okay, good tips, good tips. He's talking to Tom. Okay. Well, we just covered that. Thank you. Joe says pitcher guys who haven't debuted. Bubba Chandler, obviously, and I'm grabbing Quinn Matthews cheap everywhere. The St. Louis Cardinal, Quinn Matthews, good call. That's another prospect to be considering. Thank you. Good call, Joe. You like Quinn Matthews more than McGreevy? I'm curious what Joe thinks because Joe knows a lot about prospects. So there's Jamie helping you out. Tom, if you're on mobile, tap the 0 out of 5. Yeah, Jamie. Thank you, brother. Make sure you guys check out Jamie's channel, Out of Rhythm Sports. He does the best graphics in the business, guys. In the business. Okay? Trust me on that. Thank you, James. He says, okay, last roster question. 10-team Cats. Catcher, we got all standard positions. 2 utilities, 6 bench. And my question is 7 or 9 pitchers, and how many should be a relief pitcher? Just looking for balance and fairness. What do you guys think? I mean, all you guys play fantasy baseball who are in here. I wonder what you all think. I think in terms of balance and fairness, I think you should have 9 pitchers because it's a 10-team league, so there's plenty of players to go around. And I think at least 3 of them should be relief pitchers in terms of the designation of the roster. 6 starters, 3 relievers as active starters. I think that's fair. Do you guys disagree? Let us know. Fire up the chat. Let me know, okay? Ink says, have you dug into Ben Rice's stats? He tore up the minors, and he seems like he is going to have some run to start the year at DH, but seems to be gaining any helium. Any interest? Yeah, I definitely have interest. I have Ben Rice in a couple dynasty leagues. First off, curious what Joe thinks of this as well. I like Ben Rice. Remember that he had 3 home run game last year? Remember that for the Yankees? That was fun. Ben Rice is legit, man. I know that Ben Rice will do what a lot of hitters his age do, and the whiff, right? The whiff.
Wow, dude.
I used to love that. There's a Sega Genesis baseball game. I think it was like ESPN Baseball back in the 90s, and they had Dan Patrick saying, when you struck out a guy, said, the whiff. And I thought that was the most amazing thing ever because it was a 16-bit video game, and Dan Patrick's voice was saying, all digitized, the whiff. I love that. But, you know, Ben Rice is only 26 years old. He just turned 26 years old. He's shown tremendous power in the minor leagues. And, yes, he can strike out a bit. But if we look at his best season in the minors in terms of a lump sum as well with a lot of games, you know, 2023, 73 games, 332 plate appearances. He had a 183 WRC plus, 13% walk rate to an 18% K rate with 20 dongs. And he hit for average, too. This guy can hit, man. He can hit. And he was able to reduce his strikeouts in the minors, and I think he makes that adjustment, and he becomes somebody that the Yankees are kind of grateful maybe that Giancarlo Stanton got hurt. I really do. I like Ben Rice. I'm a fan. I am a fan of man. Uncle Ted with the update here as the main event cruises on. Oh, he took Pivetta. You like Pivetta, Uncle Ted? Anthony took Pivetta as my proxy at Tout Wars, and he was on my do not draft list. But he didn't know that because he was busy and overwhelmed. It's not Anthony's fault at all. So maybe I'm wrong. Is Uncle Ted right? Do you guys like Nick Pivetta more than I do? Now that he's in San Diego this year? He's a guy who can never give you an ERA under 4, even though he can miss a lot of bats and he can have stretches. Nick Pivetta is a perfect example of a guy I'd like to roster in head-to-head leagues, but not for volume in Roto, right? Uwe says doing standard, so 4 cats for pitchers. Okay, that's standard? 4 cats, not 5? I thought 5 was standard as far as I know. I'm not here to argue, but that's just what I think. Inked Audio says, thanks for having me. Been listening to Pallazzo for a couple years now. Love your stuff. Hey, no shit. Well, that's great. Yay! Hey, great gift, man. Thank you, Inked Audio. I love hearing that. Thanks for letting us know that. We don't always know this. We're like, who listens? Who's out there? Who are these people? Besides the live chatters. So when you come in a live chat and you show yourself, it means something to me. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. More cowbell. That's right. I got a fever. I didn't let me change it. Okay. Pivetta was in Boston, not San Diego. Yeah, he's in San Diego now. Or that's what I mean. Now that he's in San Diego. So, is that more exciting? I guess. I don't know. Boston seems to know what they're doing with pitching. I love what Craig Breslow is doing over there, the front office, and getting the most out of their pitchers. Less fastballs, more nasty stuff, a lot more of it, way often. Give it to me. Okay. Well, there it is. We got our first super chat in the history of the show. I'll never forget this night or this show. Thank you so much. I'm going to power it down for now. Hopefully we covered a lot of ground. I still feel like there's so much more to cover. We got more to do. We got a big Friday show. Me, Britton, and Mike Virginia will be on the air live on Friday evening around 7-ish. That's going to be a good one. And then, let's see, we'll probably sneak in a couple other shows in between that point. Make sure you check out Robbie. Robbie did the shortstop dynasty positional video covering his shortstop rankings. And I also have 2 more to upload because he did the outfielders and relief pitchers, which I will upload either tonight or tomorrow. So I am very, very happy and grateful that we are where we are. And this was just a YouTube exclusive, a Twitch and YouTube exclusive. No Twitter was involved in this. So if you people found out about the show after the fact and you're like, oh, I would have been there, come to the YouTube. Come to the YouTube. This is where we want people to be. If you like us on Twitter and watch us on Twitter, just migrate over to YouTube. That's all you got to do. It's just as good an app, maybe better. Right? I think so.
Great job.
Oh, Ink to Audio says, thanks for a great stream. Thank you, Ink to Audio, for being here. Make sure you guys like our stuff. Do everything you can to support it, right? Share it with friends. I know sometimes people, they don't want to share it with their league mates. They're like, oh, I don't want to give away my show to my league mates. And I understand that. So Uncle Ted said, you think Fenway's a better place to pitch than San Diego? No, I didn't say that. I trust what they're doing from a philosophical perspective in Boston more than San Diego. But better park to pitch in? I don't think there's really a debate there. You're right, in San Diego. And I wouldn't deny that. I would not deny that to you, Uncle Ted. Great stream. Thanks, Ted. Good luck with your main event. I appreciate it. He says I got a PCA, Quan, Cowser, Profar. That's a good outfield right there. PCA, Quan, Cowser, Profar. I like Quan, Cowser for sure. Profar, I'm a little concerned. He'll kind of come back to earth this year. His hard hit rate jumped up like 11%. But if he can maintain that, then maybe it's a new day. But PCA is a guy I know you really like. I think you said he's the next Kyle Tucker, Uncle Ted. And I like PCA too. It's just a matter of, I'd like to see him walk a bit more, show some more plate discipline. That'd be nice, but oh well. Can't have it all, right? Well, if you hit the bell, you'd know. Thanks, Jamie. Tom says, your energy is great. Keeps my attention from drifting. I got you, Tom. I'm right here in your face, Tom. This show is for you. We do the show for you, Tom Laughlin. That's right. Tom. Tom Hale's come today. I was thinking of the Chambers Brothers. That's a good song. Tom. All right. I got to get out of here. Hella fun chat tonight. Great to see you, HB, the originator of the Pallazzo podcast super chats. Thank you, brother. You think I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but it means a great deal to us. It really does. If I could do this full time, if I could do shows 5 days a week and give you all the accoutrements that go into that with production when I'm not on the air too, like doing production stuff, that's the dream. I would love that. Doing this show full time. That's what I want. And I'm not done. I still think we can do it. I am not done believing that is a possibility. So these super chats make me believe just a little bit more that we're going to get there. All right. There you go, Tom. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. We are out of here. We'll see you back here on Friday. Go check out the Discord, jump in the conversation, and tell us about your drafts and look to hear more about that main event that Uncle Ted's doing. Okay. Bye-bye. Time for Telly. Bye-bye.